guys. Okay, so I am a few minutes early, which is totally fine. I'm just gonna hang out. Um, so I don't want to take too much of your time, but I do want to talk about something that is super important, and that is showing up. Oh, there's people here early with me. Yay! Okay, the importance of showing up when it's not easy or convenient. This seems to be lagging on my end. Like when I talk, my mouth moves at a different time on your screen. So hopefully it'll even itself out. Um, More than ever right now, we need to continue to show up and to be consistent because, like I talked to my team this morning, um, you can't control what's going on around you. You can't control literally anything that's going on right now. Like we're quarantined into our houses. We can't interact with people. We can't go out, all these kinds of things. And so, right now, the one thing that you do have control over is how you are choosing to show up. How are you choosing to show up for yourself, for your team, for the people that are around you, for your challengers, for everyone? That is the one thing that you have total control over. And I know sometimes that it's really easy to sit there and say, okay, well, Brittany, like, I have this going on, like I'm homeschooling my kids now, and I'm doing this, like life has changed, like all your schedules, you're like, okay, well, I had a power hour before, and it was where, every day at 5 p.m. I was doing my power hour, and now, like, I don't, it doesn't fit into my schedule anymore. I'm sorry, but that's total bull because it does. Even if it's not fitting in at a specific time, you can still fit it in to your schedule. I hope that this is recording me. If not, I don't know if anyone's still on right now, but if you are and you can hear my voice, can you just like do something? Like an emoji or something? If not, this video might not have any sound. So I apologize. But I'm gonna keep going. Back where I was at. Yeah, I don't know if this is recording sound, guys. I'm sorry. Hopefully it is. You have control over how you show up. So your kids are home now, and so you're homeschooling. I'm going to give you my situation and my story because it's going to sound a lot like yours. So right now, I'm a single mom. I have my two boys at home. I have a middle schooler and I have my son in the first grade. And so they both have different things that have to get done every single day. It is not simple to the point where it's just like, oh, you have like a writing assignment, you have this, you have that. Oh, you hear me. Thank goodness. You have, oh, it's just one assignment. No, y'all, like my sixth grader, we have to build like this ginormous marble track in our house. Like, where there's so much we have to do. We have to do like this weather presentation, and like I have to help him make a movie. Like, this is not normal stuff. It's so easy for me right now that I could sit back and be like, look, I'm overwhelmed and I'm not showing up. Like, sink or swim, friends, because I'm not going to do it. No, like that's the one thing I have control over right now. The one thing is how you choose to show up. And so right now, this week, I've been a coach for 22 months now, almost 2 years. I made my biggest check this week than I've ever made in a month in my 22 months of coaching, because I decided that I was like, all this is going on, but I'm still going to show up. I'm going to get up. I'm going to say, okay, I can't do my power at the specific time I was doing it before because my kids are not in school right now. But I can decide, oh, I'll do it, later in the evening, or I'll do it in the morning. And like recently, I've been doing it at night. Like they'll go to sleep and I'm like, okay, here's my 30 to 45 minutes, whatever I can get in, I'm going to get in. I focus on my follow-ups. I focus on my invites, all of that. You have control. And this is what I was telling my coaches today too, is that I get it and I have grace, for everything that's going on. And it's like this huge life change for everyone. And so you do have to try to figure out how to fit that into your schedule now. But the point is, you have to show up. Like, you can't use something as a crutch and say, oh, well, this is happening, so my business that I've been working so hard on, I'm just gonna put it on the back burner. Like, it can just wait for like a week or maybe a couple of months. Like, no, it can't. I'm sorry. And so what you need to do is have discipline and say, I am worthy of showing up. I am worthy of doing all of this stuff that I was already working so incredibly hard on doing, and I'm not gonna back down just because life got crazy, like life got hectic, And so now more than ever, you can't go anywhere. No one can go anywhere. And so you have people that were constantly in the gym or constantly doing stuff, and then it's just stopped for them. And so you still have those tools. Nothing changed for you. You still have, access to BOD. You have the supplements. You have your challenge pack. You have everything. I'm trying to read the comments coming through. You have everything that you could use to help them. And for you to hold back on that because of things that are going on, that's not fair to them. And I don't mean that in a salesy way. I don't mean go, attack them and be like, oh, well, your gym closed, so hey, like, remember we talked 6 months ago? Like, no, don't do it in like a gross way, but talk to them, reach out, like I've had people reach out to me this week and they're like, you know what, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to do this. And, let's get set up. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it's just like, you need to continue to show up every day. Show up on your social media accounts. And that's another thing. How are you showing up on your social media accounts? Are you contributing to the chaos that's going on? Are you like helping that fire grow? Or are you saying, okay, this is chaotic. Like, I'm not going to add to this. I'm going to see what I can do to help empower people, to remind them like, yeah, stuff is crazy. Sorry, guys, I always have to catch myself. Stuff is crazy right now. And I'm going to make this decision to show people, hey, I'm going to help you feel empowered. I'm going to help you feel safe. I'm going to help you feel that you still have some type of structure and stability to your life. And that is what is so awesome about BOD, is because it's like, you can go on there and you find a program and you say, okay, here's this, 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 and this. And then it's like, you have structure. You have something that you can control for the next, 21 days, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something that they can look forward to every day. So despite everything that's going on around them right now, they have that one thing that they could say, you know what? This is my 30 minutes. This is this is that, because so-and-so, one of you guys, reached out to them and said, hey, I have all of these tools. I have all these things that can help you. And now, they're on their journey and they're doing good and they're moving forward. And so, another thing too, guys, it's okay. So basically, in a nutshell, what's going on right now this week has been crazy for me. And so for me to hit the highest success club I've ever hit, like right now I'm in Success Club 16, I have hit like I said, the highest paycheck, and it's not about money. It never is. This is about helping people on their journeys and empowering them. But right now, like, your income, it's a huge deal. And so for me to be able, to empower people and help people and still be able to do this other stuff is a big deal. And if I would have stepped back in the beginning of the month when all of this went down, or when we were getting shamed on social media for sharing our home workouts, like, if I would have been like, you know what, I'm just going to back up, like, clearly no one's interested, I wouldn't have done what I've done this week. And so your life right now, just a little personal backstory, I guess, in a nutshell. So my oldest broke his collarbone, and like, we were dealing with all this crazy stuff. And then this week, his insurance was like, we're not going to cover any of it, like none. And so I was like, great, and I could have taken off from this week, been like, you know what, I don't want to work on my tracker. Like, I'm dealing with some other stuff going on right now. My business can go on the back burner. Like, everything I've been working hard towards can go on the back burner. But I didn't. And then 2 days ago, a FedEx delivery driver came in and dropped off my Energizer cover and hit my car with their FedEx truck. And so I'm dealing with that right now too. And so it's just like so many things that could have caused me to just be like, I don't want to do this. Like, this entire week, this entire month, I'm going to take off. But you have to choose to show up. It is so incredibly important, especially right now, to continue to show up. And the thing is, guys, is like, we all have bad days. Like, it's impossible to avoid having a bad day sometimes. And so you can have that day and you can feel it and you can acknowledge it, but you can't stay there. You can't sit there and like wallow in this self-pity and just say, okay, well, all this stuff is happening around me, so I'm not going to show up. You're not allowed to. I'm sorry. Like, you've worked so hard to get to where you're at right now. It doesn't matter everything that's going on right now, because you are not in control of it. You have literally no idea what's going to happen now, what's going to happen in the next 30 days. We just don't know, and having that uncertainty it can be terrifying for everyone. But when you continue to show up and you're on social media and you're saying, look, I'm staying consistent with this. These are these empowering words, like share something that when people are scrolling through social media, you don't blend in. It's not just like, okay, well, so-and-so is doing this, so-and-so, and they can see your post of where you're just like ranting about what's going on. No, you need to do something that they're scrolling through and then they stop because they see it and they're like, oh my gosh, this is empowering. Like, I love this. Like, so-and-so is still showing up. So-and-so is like, reminding us that it is important to show up because that's the one thing that we have control over. And I'm not going to sit here and breathe in all this negativity. And so that is super important right now, guys, to just continue to show up. Like, especially on the days that you just don't want to. The days that have been so hard and like just so hard. Those are the days that you need to continue to show up. Set aside your 30, 45, 60 minutes, whatever, and continue to show up. And another thing is, I don't know what you guys are doing. I have a message thread for my emeralds and like trying to get them to move up. And I tell them, like, the tracker, I don't have it with me right now, but it's the bat, where it says it's the time that you can do this amount of stuff. Anyways, I post that in there and they're required to show me a picture of it every Wednesday because it restarts on Thursdays. And so I show them, hey, give me your picture. Let me see your tracker. I don't care if you only have 1 day done. Like, show me your tracker. And so last week, they didn't want to show me them at all. Like, they just had nothing. I had crickets in my group. And so I was like, no, that's not what we're doing. And so I posted my tracker. And I was like, look, like, this is the stuff that's going on. And, and they know what's going on, like with my son's collarbone. They know the stuff that's going on with my hit and run this week. Like, they know everything that's going on. And I said, look, this is my tracker. That's not 100% done this week, but a majority of it is, And so I was like, I had to take this day off because I had to deal with all this stuff. Like, it was just so crushing that day. And so I was like, I took a day off. I felt it. I acknowledged it. I processed everything that I was dealing with. And then the next day I woke up, I'm moving on. I'm not staying here. I'm not staying stuck. I'm going to continue to push forward and I'm going to continue to show up. And so that was basically the whole reason that I hopped on here. I wasn't trying to take a huge chunk of your time, but I just want to remind you guys that it is so important to keep showing up. And another thing is right now, because you can't leave your house, submerge yourself in knowledge. Anything. Like, you can't leave your house, so you have no excuse as to why you can't learn something that's going to help you grow. So if you are scrolling social media and you see, like, okay, this team, this group's page, someone did a live or someone did a power hour, someone did something, some type of video, and it piques your interest to the point that you're like, okay, this is something that I need help with right now. Like, this is something that can help me grow. You need to save it. Like, either watch it right then or save it like in the little collections thing. Okay, so I think it's like 3 little dots, and just press save for later, and submerge yourself in that. Like, I have been growing so much as a coach over these last few weeks because I'm like, okay, this is something that I'm struggling with here. This is that. Where can I go that's going to help me with this? And so the champions page, this page, your like normal team group page, something where there's continuous videos of everything. Like, you have so much access to knowledge and growth at your fingertips. And right now, more than ever, you have nothing else to do. And so you need to sit down. I don't care if you're doing it when you're doing the dishes, the laundry, like maybe you normally would listen to music, or same concept when you're doing your personal development, is that you just need to plug it in, put your headphones in, put it on a speaker. I do not care, but you need to have something where you're saying, okay, this is helping me grow. This is not a month that I'm going to be stagnant and I'm going to get stuck because of everything that's going on. This is the month that you need to decide, okay, despite everything that's going on around me, I'm still going to continue to show up, and I'm still going to continue, like I said in the beginning of this chat, you're going to continue to empower people. Your newsfeed, fill it with something joy, like, I don't even know, something that is empowering or helps people grow or something that genuinely is just good. And, continue to do your follow-ups and your invites and posting about your journey and being vulnerable, and there's so much stuff where it's just like, I've had people reach out to me this month and they're like, holy snap, like, you're still showing up. You're still doing this. Like, I go to your page because I know that you're going to post something that's empowering and I don't want to see the negativity. Like, that's on my news feed. And I just want to see what's going on with you. And, I listen to your podcast and I want to, I just want to get out of this funk. And that's the thing is like, you shouldn't be contributing to that funk, like to someone else's, to your own. It's tough right now because you're stuck inside and you are building up this cabin fever, and it's like, I get the same way. Like lately my anxiety's been through the roof. And so I step outside, get some fresh air, I can't go far, but just step on my front porch and get some fresh air and some sunlight and just regroup. And then come inside, do your energize, do your tracker, focus on, okay, even if you're overwhelmed right now, even if you're like, Britt, I can't do the whole tracker, like it's just too much. I'm trying to juggle like my 30 kids and this spouse and this and that, and like I just can't. But you can. And even if it's not the whole thing, focus on your follow-ups, focus on your invites, focus on some type of post. Like if you don't want to be on social media all day, that's fine. Do one post. Just think about it before you post, even the night before. And that's what I've been doing lately because it's like 3 follow-ups, 3 invites. I do 6, but that's besides the point. Our tracker says like 3 to 5. And so go on there. What I do is the night before because like I said, with my boys and their homeschooling, like it's no joke. And so I want to make sure that I am prepared that next morning. So I take something off that night. And so I'll take my piece of paper and I'll go into my stories or just anywhere on my social media and say, okay, these are the 3 people, that I need to follow up with. And then even if it's just something that you're like, I hope you're doing okay during all of this. Just something, like continue the conversation. And some of those, like I've had people and they're just like, I'm doing really good. I hope you're doing well too. And so we'll kind of communicate with that. And that's that. And sometimes it doesn't go any further. But sometimes I've had people and they're like, oh my gosh, like, are you still doing that bundle? Like, can I get signed up? And so just continue that communication in one way or another. And then another thing I do is, so for the 3 invites, I go through my stories, whatever, and then write it down on a piece of paper or in your phone, whatever. I'm a pen and paper person. And so I take my piece of paper and I have my follow-ups on this side, my 3 follow-ups, and then my 6 invites over here. I pull 3 from Facebook and 3 from Instagram. So I do every single day. And so I write it out and say, okay, these are the 3 names that I'm going to talk to tomorrow morning on Instagram. These are the 3 that I'm going to do on Facebook. And then that's that. Because that was taking like 20 to 30 minutes of my time the next day. And I was like, I just don't have time for it. Like I'm trying to be like a homeschool teacher right now. And so I decided that I was going to take that 20 to 30 minute chunk, put it in the night before. That way, then when the next day comes around, it's ready. Like there's literally, and then I'm flying through my invites. And so it's something that it's just like, if you feel like there's part of the tracker that maybe you are just struggling with right now, like you're like, okay, this part should only be taking me 20 minutes to do, and it's taking me like way longer, like 45 minutes, 60 minutes, figure out a way to change that. So it's not necessarily, so you're not waking up in the morning and being like, I have to do my tracker. I have to work on my business. I have to do that. Like, no. And it's such a bad, like, ooh, I don't even like saying it like that. Like, you need to wake up and you need to just sit there and you need to be like, okay, I get to work this business. I get to talk to, these challengers. I get to pump up my coaches. I get to do this. Not, I have to. I have to work on my business. No, you get to work on your business. You get to run a business that you can do on your time schedule. Like, it is not a 9 to 5. You figure out where it fits into your schedule. And it doesn't have to be the same time every day. You work however many days that you want. That is not something you have to do. That is something that you get to do. And it's such a freaking blessing, especially in times like right now, And so change your mindset and maybe write down some affirmations. And like I do my affirmations every morning and sometimes every night, but write them down somewhere and read them every day. I don't even care if it's just like one little sticky note, you know, and it's something that gets you pumped up in the day, something that when you maybe like your anxiety kicks in or something like that, just take a minute and just like breathe and say whatever it is that you wrote down on your sticky note and keep going. And like I said, there's going to be days that you just, the days that suck, and you just kind of have to take that day, feel it, acknowledge it, take your day off to get recentered and get back on it the next day. You are not allowed to stay there for a week, for a month, for X amount of time. You're not allowed. And if you need to write that down somewhere and say, Brittany said, I'm not allowed to sit here and throw a pity party, write it down. You could do like little angry faces. I don't even care. But you need to show up. Keep showing up. The days that it's hard, the days that you just don't want to, those are the days that you need to push further. Those are the days that you need to take your Energize, throw on some music, throw on your podcast, whatever you want to do, and show up. If you need to take the weekends off, do it. That's what I started doing. It's totally okay. But what you need to do is continue to show up because people are watching you, whether you think that or not, they're watching you. And they're trying to see, okay, is this person still going to show up? How is this person going to react to this kind of crisis that's going on right now? You know, are they going to add to it? Are they going to be like the light? Are you going to be the light in this darkness that's going on right now? And that's what people are looking for. You know, like the whole saying, what was it, Mr. Rogers, where it's, you know, the saying where it's like, always look for the helpers. That's what you should be. You should be the helper. You should be the person that when someone is scrolling through their social media and they see your name, that they pause for a second because they genuinely want to see what you wrote for that day because it brings them joy and it helps them during this time. And so, but yeah, I took 20 minutes of your time. Like I said, I just wanted to hop on here and remind you guys of the importance of showing up. It's not just important for you, it's important for your team, it's important for the people that are watching your journey. Like, it's just genuinely super important. So hopefully you guys will take something away from this and you will just show up. Honestly, like you've worked too hard. Like we're all working towards pushing towards 1-star right now. I know like Summit was canceled and that's a big doozy. Like I was sad. I was really sad about that. And so, but those are the things where it's like, okay, well, what can I do to like contribute? Like my team, they're so sad. This was my first summit that I was taking my baby coaches to. And so when it was like canceled, I was like, oh no. And so, but now we're figuring out something else to do virtually, you know? And so it's like all this stuff that's going on around you, you have no control over it, but you choose how you're going to keep showing up for yourself and for everyone around you. And so I love you guys. Thank you for showing up to my 20-minute talk. And hopefully you take something away from it. And then if you guys need anything, like if you need any help or you're struggling maybe right now, like with anything like personal development, like I said, I know right now being stuck inside a house is damaging to some people. So if you need someone to talk to, like I'm here. Even if we're not on the same team, I'm here. So hope you guys have an excellent night. I'm really sorry that this was so late in the evening. But yeah, I hope you guys just really kick some serious butt this week. Bye.